So you are able to see the slides, right? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So anyway, so last class, of course, from last week, we have been discussing about this tension members. Okay. So finally, in the tension members, three things you have to do. One is three modes of failures are there. One is due to yielding, then net tensile, that rupture happens. Then we have this block shear failure. Okay. So these are the expressions given in the code, and anyway, they come from mechanics and some little bit empirical things also will be there. Okay. So this is a net due to yielding, say, so Ag times Fy. So we will be using Fy, okay, that is a yield stress, because the serviceability gets violated. So that's why this Fy comes into picture here itself. Then for rupture, say, so we have this expression, so 0.9 times An into Fu. So here we go until this, the ultimate stress, because the stress strain curve, say, gets, you will get a different stress strain curve when you do a tension test with a plate with hole itself. So you will not see that or something like that. So we go up to Fu, but we add one small factor of safety 9.9. That is, because anyway that is the ultimate thing you are going. So to be on safe side, say. So this 0.9 is a factor of safety. They add additional factor of safety apart from gamma m1. Okay, and how to calculate net area, we have discussed in our last class itself. So
Hello, sir. Are you talking?
Good morning, sir. Your mic is muted, I guess.
and now you are able to hear.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
I think some problem with the Wi-Fi. Okay, anyway. So this, we have set, so 0.9 times AN, so this comes into picture itself. Just 1 second, whether the recording is there. Okay, I think the recording is, yes, it's going. No. So fine. So this to find out net section rupture, we have discussed in great detail in our last class. Okay, but when you are having angle sections and one leg is connected, other leg is left just like that, then you should not use this expression. So this expression is you can use for an angle section also. When both the legs are connected, you can use this one. But when only one leg is connected and other leg is not connected, so then we discussed in our last class. So this outstanding legs, this portion which is not connected, so you will be having this shear lag. Okay, so why shear lag also we have told you, because the connection, say, the bolts are this one, the tensile gets stresses gets transferred or shear stresses near the edge, say. So so this outstanding leg, you might some portion of it see will not be having a stress, so it lags behind the other side of the plate, other leg of the plate, so that shear lag or something we call them. So for this, this expression has to be used actually, and the most important thing is this expression has come from our IIT, from our structures lab, some experiment and some finite element, so this expression has been done long back itself, and which has been come in the IS code itself. Okay, so it has two components. One is the net area of the leg, that is a connected leg, then the gross area of the outstanding leg, that is the leg which is not connected. So here all the expressions are straightforward only. So you can see here also the most important thing, I think I forgot. So whenever there is a net section rupture, say, that is N area, so you will see Fu. Okay, so that is like a plate with a hole kind of a thing. So the outstanding leg which is not connected, say, so this will fail by, you see, the yielding kind of a thing, Fy. So the same like previously also we have said, right, when yielding means Fy, rupture means Fu. So because this portion of the leg is not connected to any bolts or anything like that, so it fails by yielding kind of a thing. So this portion, say 0.9, so the same the concept of this net section rupture, say, it connects. So the formula has been split into two pieces. One is for the leg which is connected with bolts, other one which is not connected to this one. So this is by yielding, this is by rupture, and this is some expression, the reduction factor or something they use, because this leg is not contributing. So here you will get your shear lag, that is a BS. Okay, so and how to measure this shear lag also. So code also, this figure is there in our IS code also. Okay, for welded connections, say, it is same as a W because you have welded on both sides. So if it is a bolted connection one leg, so you have to add a W plus G minus T itself. So all the expressions are given, and LC is a connection length. Last class I told you the empirical expression was 1 minus x bar by L for the shear length. Generally, that is what is used in the international codes. So connection length increases, say, then the shear length comes down. So similar, you followed it. You can see this formula is also more or less similar to like that 1 minus x bar by L kind of a thing. And then they give some additional checks. So all these things have come from experiments and which has been done on our structures lab only. Okay. So now another thing was block shear. So block shear already all of you know. So but the problem in practice is there may be several paths may be there. Okay, so it may break in several ways. So you may have to do all the calculations and then which is the lowest, say, that is the design strength of your connection. So this also I showed you. So two things. So here also I showed you the weaker plane yields, stronger plane ruptures. So 0.9 Fu. So the formula is same actual. Okay, the rupture formula. Then when it is yielding, say, you will be having Fy and AVG kind of thing itself. So you have to do both of them, whichever is the smallest, say, that is your design tensile strength. So this also I showed you. So like if you are having lap joint, so this is essentially a lap joint. Two plates are there. Okay, so something like this. And of course you are having, you followed it, two sets of bolts are there, say. Okay, so now how do we calculate, you see, the block shear? So when you do block shear test for lap joints, you have to do for both the plates, plate A, plate B. How? Because sometimes if they are of same thickness, then it is fine. Sometimes we use different thicknesses, like you see it is a 10 mm, then this is 8 mm, say. You may have to find out block shear strength for both the cases, like you see plate A is there, say. So this is one failure path. So path 1, you can say. This is a path 2. Okay, so something like this portion. So this portion entirely goes away like this. Only this portion will be there. This top and bottom, say, they just tear off from your plate A, or this portion may get tear off also. Then similarly for plate B also, says failure patterns are same. So you may have to check, suppose if the plates are same, say same thickness, then one is sufficient. But if it is different, so you may have to follow, you see, all these kinds of patterns itself. And here also block shear we have already said. So the block shear area will be like this. Okay. So you followed it. So this is the area how we compute actually. Okay. So you can see. So previously also we have said. So you subtract half here, say. So here you have to subtract, you followed it. So this much portion only, and then you calculate this areas here itself. So this we already you people have solved, and we also will see, you followed it. So how to calculate this block shear area. So this is the area here. Okay. So this way we calculate all those things itself. Now the tensile area, say, is this portion, but whereas here the tensile area, say, this is our tensile area. Okay, so like this, you have to calculate all the areas, substitute in the formulas, and you will get the results itself. So now these are the design steps. So if you want to design any tension member, say, so these are the design steps. So the first thing, so somebody, they will give you the load will be given to you. Okay. And the length also, like if you are truss member, say, what should be the length of the member? So that also may be given to you. And the bolts also they may be given, like in the market, what bolt is available, and then steel tables also. It gives you the minimum bolt or minimum the diameters or the size of the hole you can put in that the flats or even that angle sections. So based on that you decide what is the bolts, and others also will be available, M20 or M16 or something. So these details will be provided in the practice. And then using this one, now we have to find out the the dimensions of your member. Now as already I told you, whenever there is a tension member, say, so our the dimensions are area only. Okay. So because sigma is P by A, it is a tension member. If it is a that beam, say, then you have to worry about section modulus. If you are designing torque or something, say, then you have to worry about the polar the moment of inertia kind of thing itself. So what we do is, because we are having three failures, say, so first the net area. So this expression you use, so load is already given to you. Once you know the load, use this formula, find out some approximate, you see, how much will be the net tensile area required for to have that type of a failure itself. And then here also we told you. So now we will use this also, 0.6, 0.7, 0.8, like that. Alpha also will be used, this formula or this formula. So this you have to use for the angle, the sections. That is one leg connected, other leg is not connected, kind of a thing. So you remember what is this alpha? Last class I told you what is this alpha.
Sir, K4.
Excellent, K4. But what is K4?
Shear lag factor.
Shear lag factor. Okay, so this is a formula. This is used for angle sections. One leg connected, another leg not connected. So international codes, some point 1 minus x bar by L they use. But our, the IS code set gives you alpha 0.6, 0.7, 0.8. Depending on the number of boards. As the connection length is high, say what will be as what happens to alpha? Yeah. Connection length increases. What happens to alpha?
Tends to 1.
Tends to 1, and you remember that the expression also 1 minus x bar by L, say. Okay. Where is it? So 1 minus x bar by L we said, and finally say, so this so approximately, I think 1 second. So our IS code, it gives away alpha times AN, and as number of bolts increases, so number of bolts increase, generally alpha will increase if the connection length, it is inversely proportional to L. So our IS code doesn't say connection length, but it says number of bolts. So if the number of bolts are more, then obviously connection length will be more, alpha, it will increase itself. So this is a shear lag factor. So if you are designing that type of sections, say, okay, so what you have to do is what happened? So anyway, so this, so if you are designing this type of sections, so this will be, if you are T by alpha times Fu by gamma M1 you use, or other sections, say you use, this T by 0.9 times, Fu by gamma M1. So this is the first step. So get some approximate, the net area. Now, once net area is there, say, because net area, you have subtracted the whole diameter and other things. So, but we should have a flat itself for an angle section. So, what the one generally does is you increase, 10 to 25% to compute, the tentative gross, the sectional area. Because in the steel tables, say, they give you, the gross area will be there for all the angle sections. So, net area may not be available there. So because your net area depends, how many bolts are there. If there are 2, say, then the number will be different. If it is 1, then the number you follow, right? This staggered boltings, they will be different. So in the design, say, so we do some preliminary, you follow, right, calculation. So the load is given, the bolts is given, and others are there. So you find out net area from this expression for, ordinary this one. But if one leg connected, other leg is not there, say, then you should use this formula, and then you increase by 10 to 25%. So approximate some gross sectional area, you get it. And then we have another criteria also, that is by yielding. So this also you get some gross area. Okay, so this AG, AN, and then at 25%, you increase by 1.25 times AN, say. So this you compute actually. So whatever is maximum among those things, so you go to the steel tables. From the steel tables, you select a section which has area more than higher than this and higher than this itself. So this is a guideline. So you select this one. So a suitable rolled section or built up, whatever you want to do, say cross section area matching. So you select from our steel tables. So once you have selected a section, say, so then you calculate all the bolts, connections, and other things you do. Once again, you do the effective net area because you know the connection. And if the section you followed it, you verify all those things itself, whether it is less or more, or the design tensile strength or something. So we calculate TD, TD, and all those things we do. And this design strength, say, should be more than the factored design load. If it is not, say, then you may have to increase the area. So like if you have selected 1000 has come, you select a section which is more than 1000. Suppose if it is not satisfying, so then you select a section which has a higher area, and then you do this one. And finally, this has to be verified at the slenderness ratio. So what is the slenderness ratio for a pure tension? Now you remember that table which I showed you. So if it is a pure, suppose if it is a stress reversals are possible, say it can become a compression, it can become a tension also. So how much is this value? You remember that table 180 or something, we said that first table I showed you previously. Yeah. So this is a design check, we do in the first table. Say, now, yes, this is the table. Now, So we do 400. If it is a pure tensions, it should be less than 400. And if it is, we set roof or something, 350, 180, 250, this has to be verified. So this is how, we design this tension member. So the very easy, simple steps are there. Then, of course, one more thing what you have to do is you have to also check for the block shear. Okay, I think already it is there. Now, block shear also you have to verify. This strength also should be more than the design load. So all the three checks you do, then you check slenderness, then the design is done itself. So these are the fundamental steps we do for a tension member design itself. So to have just an idea, say, okay, so we will just do one problem. So this is available in Duggal's book also. So like you see, we have a tension member, say, the length has been given 0.95 meter long. Okay, so it has to resist a service dead load of 20 kilonewtons and a service live load, say 60 kilonewtons. So the load has been given, length has been given, like it is a truss, you would say fan truss or fink truss or something. So the design is already there, the length is known to you. Now we have to design a rectangular bar. So he is using simple flat, no angle section. Okay, so there are no complications. So standard structural steel, say grade is 410. So assume that member is connected by, so this also he has given one line only, you have to use 16 mm diameter bolts of grade you followed it 4.6. So this is provided to you. So now you have to design the member. So you design the member means you have to find out the area of the rectangular bar. Okay, so this is our design variable, rectangular bar, or its dimensions. So thickness of the bar, then length anyway 0.95. So you should find out the width of my bar itself. So these are the design variables. So thickness and width, if you find out, say, then everything is done itself. Okay, so now first of all you have to find out, you see, the factor. This is service load they have given. So you do factored load, you have to find out. Now, so factored load, say, what is the multiplying factor? Now, what is that you have to do? So service load is a 20. So what will be the this one factored load? You have to multiply by
1.5.
1.5 into 20 plus 1.5 into 60. So this is 120 kilonewtons. Okay, so this is a factored load. So now load is known to you. So now like you see, now here also the most important is the diameter of the bolt here. Diameter of the bolt, what bolt he has given you 16 mm diameter. So what should be the diameter of the hole? And if it is a standard, here nothing has been mentioned. If nothing has been mentioned, what you have to do?
1.5 extra.
No, 1.5. No. What I'm trying to say is what should be the diameter of the hole basically. Okay. So for 16 mm, say, so you remember the table long back. Standard size means you have to add.
According to IS code, clearance hole, if it is clearance hole, we have to add 2 mm.
2 mm, excellent. So standard only you have to do 2 mm. But if it is now here also there are when you do design tension member, there are two things are there. One is a punched hole, other one is a drilled hole. So punched hole, say, what will happen now?
You have to add extra clearance.
No, extra. What is that? How much? You remember last class we told K1, K2, K3, K4. So K2, so you have to add extra 2 mm. So if it is a punched hole, okay. If it is a drilled hole, say, then 16 plus 2 itself is sufficient. So if nothing is mentioned, say, you please write down. You can take punched hole, you can also do drilled hole also. Both the things are fine, but you have to mention it. Okay. So let us say for this problem, we have taken as this a drilled hole itself. So drilling only. So drilling means, so my nothing to do, same as 16 plus 2 mm. So which means the diameter of the hole is, 18 mm. Okay, so this is how we find out. Then gamma m naught, all those things I hope all of you know from the table 1.1. Then gamma m1, say 1.25, sharp, all those things are there. Fu, 410, Fy is 250. Please write down all these things in detail. Okay, so what are all the inputs? 250 megapascal. So everything you mentioned, everything, and safety factors, say gamma f. So this is 1.5. So that's why 1.5 into 20 we have done. So now once all these inputs are there, so now we have to do the steps. So our step is the first is the net area you have to calculate approximately. So AN. So this F1 by 0.9 times you see Fu. So you substitute all those things, 120 into 10 cube. So be careful with the units. 1.25 by using 0.9 into 410. So this turns out to be 406.5 mm the square. So this is a net tensile area. So now net tensile area means you would have subtracted the bolt or something you would have done. Okay. So now to find out the gross area, say approximately the estimated gross area from this tensile area. So our code suggests you increase this value by 25% or 10 to 25. So worst case, if you do the 25% increase, 1.25 times into 406.5. So this turns out to be 508, some 0.12 mm square. So this is the gross area basically, which has come from the net tensile area. So this is one estimate of the gross area of the material of the flat, which you have to use. Now you also find out gross area from other expression, that is from the gross yield. So T times gamma I m naught by using Fy. So this also you have to do. So 120 into 10 cube into 1.1 by Fy is 250. So this turns out to be 528 mm square. So now you have two gross areas. Now which one you will use, 508 or 528?
Maximum.
No, you have to, suppose if I use the 508, what happens? It fails
In yielding.
in yielding. Suppose you followed, so you take maximum among these two. So now what you have to do? So now this is only simple flat we are taking here. Okay, it's a steel flat. So the area you can easily, so the net area is you see 528 the mm square. So flats means in steel tables, if you say they go by thicknesses. So you select some rectangular flat, okay, of 10 mm thickness. For this problem, we have taken 10 mm. You can decide, okay, based on all those details. Suppose if the thickness is more, say, what will happen? If the thickness of the flat, let us say I take 60 mm or 100 mm flat, say what happens? What's the problem you will see? See, if I am having that gusset plate or whatever, right? So here we are connecting my flat here. So if the thickness of the flats are more, say what will happen? What will happen to the bolt, this one? So if the thickness is 60 mm, say your bolt, what will happen? What will happen to the bolt? Length will, so bolt will be subjected to bending also. You remember the length should not be there. That is a grip length or something. You remember long back we have said. Okay, so there are some guidelines are there. You should not go for huge thickness. So thickness should be less itself. Okay, so then the width of the bar. So thickness is known. So only width is there. Length anyway already 0.95 meter. So approximately, so 528 by 10. So this turns out to be 52.8. You round it off to some new because in the shops you don't get like 52 mm diameter flat itself. So you will have some 60 mm. So this is the width actual, and this is my thickness. So now you know all the details. So now you have to once you know this one, now we have to do the checks actually. So now we have to verify whether block shear, this shear, then bolts we have not yet found out how many bolts are required. So all those calculations have to be designed here. Okay. So now what we do is, so now the bolts have to be found out now. So what we do is, so like this. So bolts, how net area provided, say. Because in the problem already it has been given that you have to provide only one line of 16 mm diameter bolt. So it should be only one line like this only. Okay. So now, so we do this net area. What one line means, so net area AN will be, you see. So there is no staggered bolting or anything. So your things are, easy. So this turns out to be 60 minus, you see, 1 into 18 is the diameter of the hole. Okay, multiplied by 10. So if it was a punched hole, say, then it will be 1 into 20 will be there. So net area will come down when it is a punched hole. 420 mm square. So obviously, what is the net area required? Now, how much net area we got? See, what was the net area we calculated previously? You can see here how much is the value? 406. So now what is your comment? So is it safe or less or whatever? What is that your comment? So it is greater than 406.5 mm square. So which means your flat is
Safe.
Safe for tension, this one only. Okay, but we have not yet computed the other things. Okay, so this is fine. So now so now we let us do the, so this is safe only. Now the the, of course, the gross area, it is perfectly fine because already our flat, what is the gross area of the flat? So 60 mm is the width, thickness is 10 mm. So what is the gross area?
600.
600, which is higher than what is the
520.
limit is 528. So that is already it has satisfied those two. Okay. So net area also has been satisfied. Now you have to check the bolt strength. I hope I will not repeat this one. So like all bolts are of grade 4.6. Okay. So M 4.6 means it's yield 400. All of 0.6 times will give its yield strength, and 16 mm diameter bolts is there. So you people already know how to calculate the shear capacity of a bolt, bearing capacity of a bolt. So which governs when you are having 4.6 bolts, which will be the lowest, shear capacity or the bearing capacity?
Shear, I think.
So shear only. Okay, we can verify. Okay, so shear capacity, so that VDSB or whatever we write. So this turns out to be, of course, the net area also you have to calculate. Okay, so the net area of the bolt say, because if it passes through the thread, okay, so it is 157 mm square. So shear capacity, all the formulas are there. So so this turns out to be ANB. Okay, so FUB by √3 times gamma NB. So substitute 157. So we are assuming that the planes, the shear plane passes through the thread, not through the shank actually. So if nothing is mentioned, because this is a more safe, so this turns out to be some 29 kilonewtons. Okay, so you find out the bearing capacity of this bolt also, but anyway the bearing capacity will be more than the shear capacity itself. Okay, so now the number of bolts have to be provided. How many number of bolts are required? So the total you followed, right? The load is how much? The total load, how much it has to carry, the factored load?
120.
120. So now how many number of bolts? One bolt, you know the answer. So 120 by 29. So it turns out to be 4 point, I think some 14. So you round it off, okay, to be on safe side. So 5 bolts are required here. So now you have to calculate pitch, gauge, and other things. Okay, what should be the minimum pitch you have to provide? You remember the guidelines long back.
2.5 times diameter.
2.5, all those things. So 2.5 times our 16 or something you have to do. So anyway, for this problem, so we do bolts is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 bolts are there, and 60 mm is the width actual. So to avoid all these things, we put 30 mm. Okay, so 30 width is 60 mm. So we give the distances and others. So some 45. You can take that guideline. Okay, so use that one. So now 45 you follow, right? So 45, then this is also 45, and then the end distance also. What is the end distance, edge distance? You remember those numbers?
1.5 times diameter of
1.5 or 1.7, you remember, no? Those things are there. So let us say I have provided 35. So this is 30 mm actually. Okay, so these are the numbers. So now end distance 35, edge distance this one. So this is how the connection should look like. Now after you do, so now our bolt has satisfied, our bolts also, even our connection also has satisfied gross yielding. Then it has also satisfied net area. Now what else you have to calculate? Two things we have taken. Block shear is the most important. So this you have to verify. So this is a very important. So now how it will break, any idea? So this is a member. Okay, so it is going like this. So how it breaks in, we have shown for the angle sections. Okay, so somewhere so you see, it may go, because it's a flat, so no need it can, only one path will be there. If it is angle section means so something like this. So if I take this as my this the block shear say, so which means so this portion the the flat is becoming this, it is going like this. So the flat the block shear failure, so it goes somewhere like this. So this is how the failure path is there. So now so we will calculate the block shear, the area itself. So now block shear, so this is which is a tension plane. So this is my shear plane, and this is the tensile plane. So now you have to calculate the areas itself. Okay, so tension plane and other things. So the gross area of shear plane, so this becomes 4 into 45 plus 35, okay, multiplied by 10. So this is a gross area of the shear plane. So 2150 we have. Then the net area of the tension plane, say. So this becomes 4 into 45. Say this 35 will be there. Now how many you have to subtract?
5, no, 4.5
1,
times.
2, 3, 4, 5. But here you followed, right? It will be, you know, so everywhere like this, 3, 4. Like here, it becomes like this. Okay. So this is how, you know, the areas have to be calculated. So you have to see 1/2, 2, 3, 4 thing will be there. Then here, you know, you have another, you followed it. This small piece comes into picture. So this turns out to be somewhere around is 4.5. Okay. So minus 4.5 times, you know, the 18 multiplied by 10. So this 0.5 comes due to this one. Okay. So this turns out to be say 1340, you know, the mm square. So this is the area. Then the net tensile. Now you have to find out the tensile area. That is, you know, this portion. So this area has to be calculated. So this is very straightforward. So we have 30 into 10. So this is you know, 300 mm square. Then net to ATN, the net area also you have to subtract this. So 30 minus, you know, 18 by 2, half this one will be there, because, you know, the net tensile area, this portion only will be there. So this turns out to be into 10, somewhere around is 210, you know, mm square comes. Okay. Just 1 second. So we'll include a new slide. So now we have all the strengths. So AVG, AVN, ATG, ATN. So just to substitute in those, you know, that block shear, you know, the expressions. You already, it is available in the code itself. So TDB17. Okay. So TDB1, you know all these formulas. AVG, FY. Okay. So √3 times gamma m0 plus 0.9 times. Okay. So ATN, FU by, you know, gamma m1. So we should easily, you know, you can. So this formula, what is the philosophy? So what is happening in this formula? Which plane is yielding? Which plane is shear? Which plane is tension? Which plane is one?
So the first one is shear and the second one is tension.
Second one, the net tension kind of a thing. Okay. So substitute all those expressions. So 2150, you know, into 250. You followed. So by √3 into 1.1. So all those things you have to substitute. Straightforward. 210 into 410 by 1.25, you know, into 10 to the power of is minus 3. So finally this turns out to be 344.10 kilonewtons. Now other formulas say, which you have to do reverse. So you can calculate. So 296.53 kilonewton. So this is a block shear strength of your connection. So which value you will take? So what is the block shear strength of the connection?
Minimum.
Minimum. So minimum is second formula. So second formula means what is the failure plane? Which is weaker, which is stronger?
Shear is in rupture, tension is in yielding.
Shear is in rupture, that is in yielding. So that is how, you know, you have to interpret. Now what is our load carrying capacity? How much load this connection has to carry?
120.
So what is your comment?
It is strong.
It is strong. So there is no failure by block shear itself. You can even compare. Block shear strength is a 296. Okay. Net area strength also you can compute. How much is the net area? This one also. So this is very, very strong. And now what is another step you have to do? So now all three modes of failure it has satisfied. Last one is
Slenderness ratio.
Excellent. So you have to find out L by R. So R is, you know, right, radius of gyration, I by A. Okay. So this is a rectangular flat. So for rectangular flat, so what is the moment of inertia? B is the width and T is the thickness, say. For rectangle, what is the moment of inertia formula? You know, BD cube by 12. You remember, right? So BT cube by 12. And area is anyway BT. So this turns out to be, you know, T by √12. So this turns out to be 2.88 mm. So this is the radius of gyration. Length of the bar is, you know, they have mentioned as 0.95 meters. So this is 950 mm. So lambda you followed, right, is, you know, 950 by 2.88. Okay. So this turns out to be, you know, somewhere around 329 or something like that. 0.86. Okay. So now this problem is, you know, so it is you followed it of a tension member or something. So they have mentioned as a pure tension member. So now what is the comment? It is safe or what is the value? Now, so if you have to go through that table here. So if you go to that first table, right? So now our value is, so now they have said it is a tension member only. So what is the guideline for a tension member? What is the maximum slenderness ratio?
400.
400. So now what is your comment?
It is safe.
It is safe. But suppose if I say that member like this one subjected to compression resulting from a combination, or if it is stress reversal will happen, say. Now what is your comment?
Not safe.
It is not set, you followed, right? So you have to verify also is if it is a pure tension set, then it is perfectly safe. But otherwise, you may have to revise your design itself. Okay, so this means you see it is less than 400, so it is safe. So these are very simple, the design steps you have to do when you do for the tension members. Now similarly, so now let us see this shear lag also. How do we calculate? You followed it. So these are also very the important things you have to do. So now this is a problem say. So bridge, this is also available in Digwal's book, a nice problem. So we have a bridge, the truss diagonal is there, subjected to a factored loads they have given. Okay, no service load 300 kilonewton. Length of the diagonal also they have mentioned 3 meters. The tension member is connected to a gusset plate also. So 16 mm thick with one line of bolts. 20 mm diameter bolts are there, and grade is 8.8 grade. So what type of bolts are there in these things?
HSF.
HSFG. So very high strength itself. Now you have to use a angle section. Now as already I mentioned it, why do we use angle section compared to flats? See, nowadays in bridges, wherever you do, like if you want to do flats, it's the previous problem we took a flat. But now if you took angle sections, generally why angle sections are more preferred than flats?
Maybe better buckling resistance.
Not only buckling. See the angle sections, of course, we will see in after some time when we go to beams and others. So the rigidity, say that EI rigidity and other things will be very high for angle sections. Okay, that's why they are preferred. So we will see that in a little bit detail. So now let us say here you have to do angle section only. So now you can write all the inputs, FU 410, then FY you see 250. Okay, then gamma M0 say is 1.1, then gamma M1 is 1.25. Then gamma MB, that is for the bolts 1.25, then FUB, that is for the bolt, it is very high actually, 800 megapascals, because it's a HSFG bolt. And the net area of the bolt, say let us say it passes through the thread or whatever, so 245 mm square. So these are the details. So now so let us, you can do both the ways, like we will start from the bolt and then we can go back also. So now when it is high HSFG bolt, okay, so which one governs the failure, bearing or shear, and if slip is allowed?
Bearing.
So bearing strength will be less actually compared to shear strength. So shear strength of this HSFG bolt, say, so that is A and B. So you have, since we use FUB in that formula, so FUB of this is extremely high. Okay, so 245 into 800, we have the value by root 3, say. 1 second. So root 3 into 1.25 into 10 to the power of minus 3. So this is 90.52 the kilonewtons actually. That is the shear, this one. Now whenever you are having this type of HSFG bolts, the problem is bearing strength also you have to calculate. Ordinary bolts, it is easy, shear will be dominating, but here bearing will be problem. But if you want to calculate bearing strength, what is that you require?
KB.
You require bearing strength is required. If you want to calculate, so you have to find out already.
Edge distance, end distance.
Edge distance, end distance, because that KB, that is you follow, right, a problem for us. Now let us say that 20 mm diameter. So diameters of the bolt is 20 the mm itself. So now based on that, say you decide approximate pitch distance, end distance, and others. So let us say for this problem we take pitch as some 65 mm, end distance, okay, as some 45 the mm, and edge distance. Okay, so edge distance also we take as some 50 mm. So these are the assumptions. You can vary also based on our IS code this itself. And if you find out KB, you know how to calculate that E by 3 times D naught, P by 3 times D naught, and all those things. And now here also let us assume that all the holes are drilling only. So when the holes are drilled, say, so my diameter of the hole will be simply, 22 mm. Suppose if the holes are punched, say, then you have to add another extra, 2 mm kind of a thing you have to do. So all of you, you can calculate that E by 3 times D naught, P by 3 times D naught minus 0.25, FU by FU, all those things, so all, you have to take a value. So finally, say, so KB turns out to be 0.681, and the bearing strength, say, so this bearing strength of the bolt, so this turns out to be 2.5 times KB D times T, FU by, gamma times, the MB. Okay, so now here, so here when you calculate bearing strength, you also should calculate, the thickness of the, this member also. So now in this problem, say, okay, because thickness will not be known, or in the gusset plate thickness only will be there, the angle section, say, that thickness may not be, we may not know, we just assume some to be starting. So we assume that thickness is some 8 mm, say, approximately for my angle section. So gusset plate is 16, whichever is the smallest, we use here. So for substituting, here we get some 89.34 mm as the bearing strength for this bolts itself. Now which one you should use? Now bearing is there, shear is there. So now which one governs for this one? So now you calculate the number of bolts required. So load is 300. So bearing strength is 89.34 kind of a thing. So this turns out to be 3.36. Approximately you round it up to 4 bolts itself. So we say that 4 bolts are there of 20 mm diameter. Okay, so this is how we do. So the bolts are already decided. Now we have to design our tension member. So now the first thing is the net section rupture. So that formula is there, right? So we do so AN. So this is T times. So gamma M1 by 0.8 times FU. So you substitute, say, so 300 into 10 cube into 1.25 by 0.8 times into 410. So this turns out to be 1143.29 the mm square. Now the tensile area has to be increased, like 15% or 25%. So that you decide. Let us say for this problem, I increase by 15% only, say. Okay, so that means it's 1.15 times so this net area. So this turns out to be 1314.78 mm square. So you can take 25% also. Okay, and then you can do the design, and then you can recalculate also once again all these issues itself. So here we are just tentatively taking as 15%. Okay, so now the gross area, say, so this also we have to calculate from the other expression. So T times gamma times M naught, say, by F of Y. So this turns out to be 1320 mm square. So this is a gross area. So now which is the higher? Now,
Sir, last question we took T gamma M1 by 0.9 FU, right? Why did we take 0.8?
oh, sorry, 0.9. No, I think I made a mistake. Okay.
Okay.
Maybe I made a mistake. So 0.9 times have to be taken. Oh, maybe in the textbook itself he has made a. No, sorry. Why point? I think 0.8 only. I'm extremely sorry. 0.8 only is the one. Why 0.8? No. Why we have to take 0.8? Now this is an angle section. So one leg is connected, another leg is not connected. So which one you should use? See, now we are going to do angle section. One leg connected, another leg is not connected. So which one you should use, this or this?
T by alpha into.
T. What is alpha?
We have to assume something.
No. Alpha, you already we showed, right? Alpha, to assume alpha. So what is the guideline for alpha? You remember?
Number of bolts.
How many number of bolts are there? In this problem, how many number of bolts we have got? 4 bolts, you remember? This problem 300 by 89 we did, 4 bolts we have got. So for 4 bolts, what is the area? What is the value of alpha?
0.8.
0.8, sorry. That is how it has been done. I am very sorry.
Okay.
So that turns out to 0.8. Okay. So because we are doing a one angle, one leg connected, another leg, that's why you see this formula has to be not 0.9. Okay. So 13, 14 says, so 13, 20. So now finally you followed it. So our area will be, so 13, 20. So this is our guideline. So now you go to the steel tables, say, among all the legs, you select a leg, the angle section which has area more than this. Now in angle sections, we have 2 options. One is equal angle, then unequal angle. Which one you will take? What should we do? Equal angles you take or unequal angles? Unequal leg. Which is more preferable? So you have been given choice. I can take 100 by 100 by 8 or 100 by 75 by 8 or 100 by, you have options. So which one you will choose? Equal or unequal? Now, which one you will choose? This or this? Unequal or equal? What happens if you take equal angles? Area is same for both of them.
More member is wasted on shear lag.
Excellent, actually. Okay, so what is your preference? Equal or unequal now?
Unequal.
No, equal or unequal? Unequal only we take. You follow right? And unequal also. Which one you will connect it to the member? See, unequal means you have two legs. So the leg which has more length, you will connect with the bolts. The leg which has less length, say, you leave it as outstanding leg itself. So that is a guideline. So generally, when one leg is connected, another leg not connected, so you go for unequal angle. So we take for this problem some 100 by 75, but we have a constraint. Like already we have assumed a thickness as 8 mm for calculating the bolt. So you have to select this thickness also. Looking at this, so this is our thing. So the gross area for this is 113.36 you see mm square, and the diameter of the hole is 22 mm actually. So now the tensile thing, if you want to calculate, so you have to calculate two areas from that expression, because this is a different thing. So you have to use this expression I already told you, ANC, and then AG, outstanding leg area you have to conduct. Then tensile, this also you have to connect actually. So the formula is different here. Okay. So now, so you have to find out is it to TDNC. So ANC, that is, so 100. So the long leg is connected to the member, because otherwise to reduce this one. So 8 by 2. So we do 100 minus, 22 is the diameter of the hole. 8 by 2, that is a T by 2. That is the thickness actually. So multiplied by 8, so 592 mm square we get. Then the outstanding leg, say, that is the gross area of the outstanding leg is 75 minus 8 by 2. So we subtract some small thickness, that is a T by 2, because of that same thing may get overlapped here and there. So we adjust actually. So this turns out to be 568 mm square. So now you substitute in those formulas. So TDN, that is the tensile, this one. So finally, but in that formula you have to get shear lag width and others. So now what will be the shear lag width here in this problem? So for that, you see, if you draw this, so 75 by so we have our this leg, so 75. If I draw the figure, so this is my this one. So this is my angle section. Okay, and these are the bolts. 1, 2, 3, 4 bolts are there. And if I see, the angle section is something like this. Okay, so this is 75, and this is the 100. So this side is 100, and so this is 100 by 75. So now you have to find out the shear lag width itself. So 45, 65, the pitch and other things we have taken. Okay, and this is 45. So now here, so now we have to find out the shear lag width. What is the shear lag width? And let us say the bolts have been, applied at 50, 50. So 50 this side, 50 this side. So what is the shear lag width? So the bolt is somewhere here. So exactly from this side, so it is 50. What is the shear lag width? So you remember that figure also, which is given in the IS code. So what is the shear lag width for these type of connections? Can you see here?
50 plus 30 minus thickness.
W plus gauge minus thickness. Okay, so use that expression here also. So the shear lag width is same. So I will write here. So the shear lag width, that is the BS. So this becomes so 75 plus 50 minus thickness. So this turns out to be 117 mm. And the connection length is so the 3 into 65. Okay, that is the length of this one. So 195 mm. So this is the connection length. So this also you can calculate. So connection length is this 65, 65, 65. That is the connection length. How much the thing has been connected here. So now you find out the beta. Okay, so you have to subtract 1 minus 4, 0.076 W by T. That is width is 75 by 8, and then Fy, that is 250 by 410. then multiplied by shear lag width is 117, connection length is 195. So this should be less than this. I think this turns out to be 1.139. Okay, and this is greater than 0.7. So you have to do all those calculations, FU by gamma and other things also. If you do, that turns out to be 1.444. So finally the beta say this turns out to be 1.139 only. Okay, so now my design this strength say substitute all those numbers. So this turns out to be 321.79 kilo newtons itself. What is the load carrying? How much it should be? What is the load? See this problem, the load is how much?
300.
300. So which means our thing is safe or unsafe?
Safe.
It is safe. So it is now. So now anyway, gross area is already satisfied. So now you have to check for
Block shear.
Block shear has to be done actually. Okay, so that you people try like the block shear and others also. So it is available in Duggal's book also. So you can try how to calculate the areas. So TD, so the block shear strength turns out to be, the second one will be this one. So 313.15 kilonewtons. So you will get block shear strength as this also. Okay. So this is of course is more than 300 kilonewton, which means our connection is safe itself. And what is the design check? You have to do the last one.
Slenderness ratio.
Slenderness ratio. Length has already been given. So the length of the diagonal is 3 meters actual. So this also in book here is not mentioned, but you can try. That's the slenderness ratio. And it should be, now it is in a bridge truss. Okay, so for bridge trusses, say you can go from the figure and you can take the guideline. So bridge means what happens in the bridges. So it is not like a pure so if it is a bridge truss, say where is that? So a bridge, so a member normally acting as a tie in a roof truss, okay, or a bracing or something, you see. So this we take as you followed it. 350 is the this itself. So this you can take and then followed it. If it is less than, so the design is safe itself. So this way we do our calculations. Okay. So anyway, I will stop here. So we'll continue in our next class. And before I close, say, so tomorrow we are having our quiz. So the syllabus is as already